achievements in empowering women and girls through various policies and programs implemented by President Uhuru Kenyatta have been remarkable. This week on Project 254.
We are proud of our past achievements and we remain confident about scaling the heights on gender equality as we progress into the future.
Women Enterprise Fund has really helped, not only us, many women. From us, we have even linked some women that feared taking the loan.
Female genital mutilation is neither in Quran or in Holy Bible. The more I fight, the more I get other survivors to come out.
Get ready for the next big thing.
A woman with a voice is by definition a strong woman.
So we need to start bringing out the profession in a woman.
When we demonstrate, they will come when we've been tear gassed, not when we want to pass the message.
The Dada's Show is back, a show where women get to be themselves and discuss real issues.
She cannot allow other women to come in the same space because she's getting different privileges from men. So akiona mwanamke ako like this is a competitor.
This being an election year, we have given an opportunity to women to express themselves and share their expectations during this critical moment in our country.
The issue of corruption and how it has impacted women and children in this country.
Create jobs for the informal sector, create jobs for the youth who leave the universities.
Hatutaki bora uongozi, tunataka uongozi bora.
Keep your heels, head and standards high. Dadas coming soon. Are you an aspiring candidate in the upcoming general elections? Do you want your agenda and manifesto to reach your voters effectively? At KBC, we have the most comprehensive and credible online platform that has profiles of all prospective candidates. Log on to www.kbc.co.ke/2022 aspirants and let Kenyans know more about you, your past achievements, your manifesto, and your development agenda once you get elected to office. What's more, the website is easy to navigate. We will create your profile, post pictures and short videos with your campaign messages at affordable hosting fees. Log on to www.kbc.co.ke/2022 aspirants today and establish your brand authority as we lead towards the forthcoming general elections.
Good afternoon. It is the first day of April 2022. This is KBC Channel 1. Thank you for tuning in to Lunchtime News. I am Nissy Imano. Byron Abuli is our sign language interpreter for this bulletin. Right, and Muslims across the world are preparing to usher in the holy month of Ramadan, the holiest month in the Islamic calendar. The start of Ramadan, the 9th month, devotion.
The start of the holy month of Ramadan is determined by the sighting of a new moon. In the Muslim world, all eyes will be set at the heavens on Saturday and Sunday to sight the Ramadan moon. Sheikh Omar Buya, a religious scholar, said Muslims should look out for the moon to signal the start of the month-long fasting period.
Ofisi ya Kitaifa ya Mufti wa Kenya kwa ushauri wa Bodi ya Kitaifa ya Uongozi inachukua mwongozo ya kuwa utangazaji wa mwezi taifa letu la Kenya litafata mfumo wa maeneo yaliyopo Afrika Mashariki.
Ramadan is a period of intense reflection, spiritual renewal, inner joy and peace. The Kenya National Muslim Advisory Council chairperson Sheikh Juma Ngao said, fasting is intended to guide Muslims about patience, humility, spirituality, sacrifice and more prayers.
So we call upon every Muslim, inshallah, to take this time of Ramadan to pray for peace to this nation, peace in Palestine, Ukraine, Russia, Libya, Syria, Yemen, Iraq, and the other parts of the world where there's violence, killing and bloodshed. We must pray for peace to those nations this time of the whole month of Ramadan.
Fasting is compulsory upon every Muslim male or female, but exemptions include children under the age of puberty, insane people, men and women who are too old to undertake the obligation of fast.
Elsewhere, senators will have the power to probe governors over the utilization of grants if a mediated bill adopted by the Senate is passed by the National Assembly and enacted into law. Senators say their oversight mandate on monies sent to counties will be enhanced if the bill sails through Parliament.
The Speaker, it shall be remembered that last year we had a very ugly encounter with governors when we attempted to ask questions about how they were using Kenya Urban Support Program funds for roads. Now they will have nowhere to hide, because what has happened by the passage of this bill is that now we will be able to question into the expenditure of additional grants to counties.
The biggest challenge that we had with the title, grants, conditional and unconditional, is something which will become a thing of the past. Now, having changed the title of this to additional grants, this helps the Senate continue oversighting on every resource which is sent to the county governments.
We've won a great deal that, Mr. Speaker, just like the division of revenue, these grants will be brought to the House annually, Mr. Speaker, for appropriation.
If funds are going to counties, the Senate must have a role in questions of oversight and accountability. And it is important that the National Assembly does not arrogate responsibilities of the Senate on funds that are devolved.
But there is a worry. There is cause for worry. You are not yet off the hook, Senator James Orengo, because we need an assurance that members of the National Assembly will pass this mediation report.
And the Ministry of Health has not banned the use of feeding bottles. The Director of Medical Services in charge of preventive and promotive health, Dr. Andrew Mulwa, clarified that regulations on the Breast Milk Substitute Act of 2012 do not impose a ban on the use of feeding bottles. He said the regulations are meant to guide the labeling, marketing and packaging of breast milk substitutes, also known as baby formula, feeding bottles and pacifiers. Mulwa said that the regulations which take effect on the 30th of May may touch on the ethical interaction between health workers and marketers of breast milk substitutes. He was speaking at the closure of the National Maternal, Infant and Young Child Nutrition Symposium.
Breast milk and substitutes regulation of 184 of 2021, published in August last year, one regulates the sale, the promotion, advertisement, engagement of industry with health workers of breast milk substitutes and attendant products. This is about what you call formula feeds, for children. This is about, of course, the feeding items the items that you use to present the breast milk substitutes. And the ministry is not banning the sale or advertisement or any marketing of this. What the ministry is doing is to regulate so that there is no unethical promotion of breast milk substitutes to the citizens of this republic.
And detectives from Lolongo Police Station have arrested the prime suspect of the murder of Faith Mweni of Kikombo Village in Machakos County, who was on the run. Richard Mutisia, who is now under police custody, was arrested in Mlolongo after he attempted to commit suicide last night. He was, however, rescued and rushed to Kitengela Sub-County Hospital. Lodging attendants later alerted the police. His late wife was found in a pool of blood with deep panga cuts in her head and hands.
Nilikuwa nikijidefense because my wife, she's very arrogant and she's very stubborn. So on this night, she took a knife. She wanted to stab me with a knife, but I had to defend myself.
And police from KBC County have launched an investigation
These sessions are meant to guide teenagers to engage in productive activities.
Kuweza kunyosha tabia za vijana hawa ziweze kuwa nzuri katika society, kwa sababu ndio viongozi wetu wa kesho. Ya pili ni kwamba kama askari, vijana hawa ndio wasipotuweka katika misingi iliyo sawa, basi kesho watakuwa ni vijana ambao hawana maana, watakuwa ni majambazi katika vijiji na watakuwa hawana uzuri katika society, katika mambo ya maisha yao na hata maisha wazee wao.
He said that as future responsible citizens, the youth needed to be equipped with knowledge on how to tackle life challenges in the community.
Mambo ya drugs abuse and substance abuse ambao imedhiri vijana wengi. Tusipowakuza katika njia iliyo nzuri, basi tutakuwa na kisasi ambao kitakuwa kimeangamia na tutakuwa na uongozi mzuri katika muda ujao.
Kasper Ongubo, the area assistant chief, noted the program targeted boys aged between 12 and 18 and will be conducted every Monday until schools are reopened.
Tuliona ni heri tukawalike vijana hawa tukishirikiana pamoja na wenzetu ambao tunafanya kazi nao, askari pamoja na wanaoshughulika katika sekta ya afya, ili tuweze kuelekeza wapate kupata mwelekeo jinsi ya kuishi. Na tumeamua kwamba tutakuwa nao kila siku ya Jumatatu hadi shule zitakapofunguliwa kwa ajili ya zoezi hili.
Alcohol and drug abuse have been singled out as social evils the youngsters are likely to indulge in if left unguided. Jelis Aladi for Lunchtime News.
We do apologize for that technical hitch. That story, police from KBC County have launched a guidance and counseling program for learners on holiday aimed at protecting them against negative peer influence. The voluntary program, initiated by KBC Police Commander Francis Cole, involves over 60 youth from Mwanamwa Sub-County in Kitutu Chache South Sub-County. And that story would bring us to our very first break, but we'll be back in just a bit. Do stay with us.
Mwongo mmoja umekamilika. twarejea kwa udi na uvumba, kwa vishindo si haba, nderemo na vifijo. Tulia tuli, maana mambo si kama kawaida tena, kwani kupitia runinga yako ya KBC ushapata tarehe. Vitimbi kila Jumatatu jioni saa 1:30 usikose.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
Why are you leaving? Trust me, she's harmless.
No.
Do not hurt that girl.
When in nani?
You don't feel the connection here.
I'd hate to lose you as a client.
They say eyes don't lie.
Get out.
Wewe, kama wanakusikia hapo. Fungua manipile na mlango.
Nikifungua natafuta ndio replace.
Mimi hiyo hainihusu. Hebu soga nipite. Soga. Soga. Come on. Get out. Nani anataka mwasaliti kwa nyumba yake?
And welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. This is Lunchtime News. Moving on, the Kenya Kwanza Alliance is now accusing the state of funding BBI activities in violation of the Public Finance Management Act. In reaction to the ruling delivered by the Supreme Court Thursday that upheld the appellant court decision to impugn the BBI bill, the Alliance now says its members of parliament will move a motion in the coming days to compel the Auditor General to conduct a forensic audit of the total sum of money spent on BBI.
By a majority decision, the Supreme Court Thursday upheld the decision of the High Court and Appellate Court that impugned the BBI bill, faulting President Uhuru Kenyatta for his direct involvement in the initiation and promotion of the referendum bill. Following the decision, the Kenya Kwanza Alliance, led by Deputy President William Ruto, now claims the BBI activities were funded by the Exchequer for the last 4 years in violation of the Public Finance Management Act, alleging the National Assembly had not appropriated monies to fund the activities.
It is important to note that public funds used in the constitutional process were not appropriated by the National Assembly for the purpose, but were rather an illegal diversion of public funds by some public officials who decided to use their offices, to finance politics contrary to the Constitution and the Public Finance Management Act of 2012.
The Alliance also wants public officials alleged to have diverted public money to BBI surcharged.
We are aware that the Building Bridges Initiative Task Force spent approximately 10 billion Kenya shillings of public money in hotels, purportedly for collecting public views on the now declared unconstitutional Bill 2020.
The Alliance has instructed MPs allied to the outfit to move a motion compelling the Auditor General to conduct a forensic audit of the total sum of money spent on BBI.
Section 37 of the Public Audit Act 2015, the Auditor General, upon request by Parliament, is required to conduct forensic audits to establish fraud, corruption, or other financial improprieties.
Meanwhile, A section of Bungoma residents have hailed the ruling by the Supreme Court, claiming it had saved them the costs of implementing the intended changes to the Constitution.
Ilikuwa mzigo kwetu kwa sisi wananchi. Ilikuwa mzigo sana sababu hata uchumi umepanda, hatuoni shughuli tuko nayo ile kubwa sana.
Waje tuende na katiba yenye iko saizi ili pengine maoni ya mambo ya rege tuelelee baada ya elections.
Hiyo ilikuwa inatuletea kama tunaongezeka tu mzigo juu ya mzigo ingine.
John Jacob Kuria, Lunchtime News.
Moving on, Azimio la Umoja coalition member parties have embarked on countrywide negotiations on how to field strong candidates in the August general elections. The leaders are working towards coming up with a single candidate to fly the coalition umbrella for various elective positions through negotiated democracy. This as ODM party begins its primaries today in Nakuru and Turkana counties.
In a move aimed at ensuring they field strong candidates in the upcoming general elections, Azimio la Umoja member parties have embarked on countrywide negotiations. Delegates and leaders drawn from Jubilee, KANU, PNU and ODM parties have been holding consensus meetings at grassroots levels with the aim of fielding a single candidate under the coalition in every elective position. The coalition's head of presidential campaigns, Ndiritu Murithi, noted that consensus would help in solving problems emerging from party primaries and foster unity among members and aspirants.
We're very, very happy also to be meeting here at Azimio Center in Nanyuki. Testimony to the work that is going on to make sure that Azimio candidates are the ones who are winning right across the various seats.
Try and strategize on how we are going to have our candidates agreeable so that for every seat in the county we only have one Azimio candidate. And the idea here is to build consensus so that we face our opponents as a strong, united team called Azimio in all the seats.
Watu wa UDA hao ni watu wa marathon. Na wakiwa watu wa marathon na sisi tunajipanga vizuri. Kwanza wakienda wachoke na sisi tuanze vigorously campaign ya kuchukua ushindi.
Was my classmate.
This as Tongaren Member of Parliament aspirant John Kimwela has urged DAP Kenya to embrace universal suffrage in the forthcoming party nominations.
Let's go for the nomination that will involve our members. Let's not sit in a boardroom and make a decision of maybe dishing out certificates to a few individuals. So my advice to the party will be let's go for the nomination and let the people choose who they believe is a popular candidate to carry the flag of the party for the parliamentary seat.
Kimwela said it's only through engaging party members that fair nominations will be arrived at, which will ensure strong candidates are in the ballot for the August 9th elections.
Yeah, I'm ready like yesterday. I've prepared enough. The ground is ripe. People are so willing and are very supportive.
Kimwela will face off with the current Member of Parliament, Eseli Simiu, for the DAP Kenya party ticket for the Tongaren constituency. Nancy Okware, Lunchtime News.
And away from that, Umoja 2 residents have decried poor sewerage system in their estate, terming it as a health hazard. The residents say cases of waterborne diseases outbreak have been reported, claiming raw sewage has been leaking to clean water pipes. Food vendors say they are losing customers due to foul smell from the open sewerage. They are calling on the county government to intervene and ensure they repair the system as it poses a health risk for the residents.
Shida yetu ni hayo mutaro. Mvua kinyesha, maji inaingia huko baka ndani ya nyumba pamoja na sewage. Naita watu wakaanzo, anasema anakuja hata leo asubuhi, anakuja hapa naangalia, anasema atakuja na tinga kubomoa. Na kila saa mimi naongea hivyo, hakuna kitu anaweza fanya.
Sasa ile ingine ni shida ya maji taka kuchanganyika na maji. Wiki mbili zilizopita
Hapa hatukupata maji, hatukunywa maji, tulikuwa maji yote imechanganyika na maji ya sewage.
Naomba tu serikali tusaidie ni kutengeneza hii drainage, na drainage system ndio mbaya. Ikishatengeneza drainage system tutakuwa tunasikia at least maisha yatakuwa mzuri, kwa sababu magonjwa yamekuwa mengi sababu ya hii maji na takataka inachanganyika na sewage.
SACCO remittances are likely to go down as increasing food and commodity prices reduce the saving power of Kenyans. The SACCO Society Regulatory Authority says members' disposable incomes have been compromised and SACCO must begin thinking of ways to cushion themselves.
Spread of COVID-19, many cooperative societies plunged into financial crisis due to low capitalization. Even though many SACCOs survived the trying seasons, fears have been triggered due to the high rates of inflation, which might compromise members' remittance. SASRA CEO Peter Njoroge notes that impending financially demanding seasons such as school openings will put more pressure on SACCOs due to increased borrowing. He says SACCOs need to be more alert on how their portfolios will be affected by using data and regulation guidance in order to respond appropriately.
All these factors will affect the macroeconomic environment, which eventually will be manifested in the incomes that households have and businesses have to support employment and support, households in their day-to-day life.
Three quarters of this country is not having sufficient rain. And when it doesn't have sufficient rainfall coming at the right time when it was required, it means that we are going to have a strain on food chain, on food supply.
He, however, notes credit guarantee scheme targeting SMEs, which is a de-risking element, can be used to mitigate the risk.
But I think people generally, one would want to hold back in terms of consumption on unessential items. People would want to hold incomes to survive.
SACCOs are confident that the sector is resilient, and as 75% of industry assets are from employer-based public sector SACCOs.
That makes an institution to be very strong. In the event we have such happenings in the economy, then it means the society will still serve its members because of the strong capital base that you have.
They say, however, that the economic situation is worrying and major shifts must still be made. Hibak Said for Lunchtime News.
And elsewhere, the Bank of Kigali made 5.8 billion shillings in full-year net income that rose 24.9%. The lender has proposed a dividend payout of 3 shillings and 22 cents per share. Details of this and other stories in our business roundup.
Bank of Kigali saw its total operating income increase by 24.8% to 19.5 billion shillings, while the total recurring operating costs were up by 39.2% to 7.1 billion shillings. This was mainly on account of loan loss provisions that was at 4.2 billion shillings. In addition, the lender's income tax expense increased by 34.1% to 2.8 billion shillings. The two expenses dragged the lender's profit to 5.8 billion shillings, which represents a 35% increase year on year.
Our total operating income grew by 25%, and that is mostly a good mix of growth both on the performance from the loan book side, good balance in terms of customer deposit cost, and also our non-funded income. We saw the business go aggressively across all business lines.
Meanwhile, UAP Holdings reported an 83% improvement in their full-year loss before tax to 175 million shillings compared to the 1.05 billion shillings for 2020, helped by cost of reduction and increased investment income. The firm says it is in the red on account of increased claims attributed to the COVID-19 pandemic. Gross written premiums were up by 30%, while net investment income rose by 21.1% to 4.6 billion shillings.
Claims were elevated through 2021 in these difficult times that we've experienced in the last 2 years. I think the important thing is we have kept our promises to our customers, we have settled claims, and this can only build trust and confidence in the brand, which is for the long term.
Hizi viazi zinakuzwa na maji na kaviazi kamoja ama begu moja ina uwezo wa kutoa viazi 7 mpaka 30. Kwa hivyo unaona hii ni viazi itatusaidia sana na iko na market already.
Mbegu moja hiyo kidogo inaitwa mini tuber, inamea kwa maji. Kwa maji si kwa mchanga. Wakati tuta harvest kuitoa kwa maji, tunaipeleka kwa mchanga. Hiyo mbegu inaitwa shangi. Ni ile tulitoa kwa mini tuber tukaipeleka kwa ground, tukiitoa hapo inaitwa shangi. So hiyo mbegu tukisha itoa ndio tunauzia wakulima.
Finally, farmers in Nyandarua County will be allocated subsidized potato seedlings thanks to an initiative aimed at increasing production. National Youth Service Commander Ndambiri Nyaga is encouraging farmers to embrace the certified Shangi potato variety, which has an extended lifeline. Ndusa Mokami for Lunchtime News.
Time now for another short break, but we'll be back in just a few.
Ethan's head. Why did he bring that fool home? What if the Hong family blames us for nothing and blackmails us?
I kept thinking about you. I think I can't live.
From now on, you'll be addicted to me.
Enough.
Dad has let the money matter go. We're out of trouble now.
Even if Dad let it go, the money still isn't yours.
Trust me, she's harmless.
No. Wazi buda si baadaye.
Do not hurt that girl.
Wewe ni nani?
You don't feel the connection here.
I'd hate to lose you as a client.
They say eyes don't lie.
Get out.
Wewe, kama wanakusikia hapo. Fungua manipile na mlango.
Nikifungua natafuta ndio replace.
Mimi hiyo hainihusu.
Hebu songa nipite. Soga. Soga. Come on.
Get out.
Nani anataka mwasaliti kwa nyumba yake?
Are you an aspiring candidate in the upcoming general elections? Do you want your agenda and manifesto to reach your voters effectively? At KBC, we have the most comprehensive and credible online platform that has profiles of all prospective candidates. Log on to www.kbc.co.ke/2022 aspirants and let Kenyans know more about you, your past achievements, your manifesto, and your development agenda once you get elected to office. What's more, the website is easy to navigate. We will create your profile, post pictures and short videos with your campaign messages at affordable hosting fees. Log on to www.kbc.co.ke/2022 aspirants today and establish your brand authority as we lead towards the forthcoming general elections.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Let's take a look at politics now. As different political parties commence nominations in the month of April, the Devolution Empowerment Party, commonly known as BAS Party, has assured its supporters and aspirants of peaceful, fair and transparent nomination process. Party leader Kiraitu Murungi says the party will in the bid minimize the fallout and the expenses, carry out opinion polls and have aspirants build consensus, a move he claims will solidify the party's win in the upcoming poll.
The Devolution Empowerment Party has moved to assure its supporters of fair nominations if the party fails to reach a consensus in some region. Party leader Kiraitu Murungi says the party is committed to enhance its chances of bagging elective seats by conducting fair primaries ahead of the April 22nd deadline.
Kuna mahali tuko na watu mbili, watu tatu, lakini our nomination rules siko very straight.
Meanwhile, Kiambu residents have threatened to keep off the nomination exercise over what they term as interference by the political figures to undermine the will of the people.
Ingi ndio wanabaa kupewa kuamua, lakini tusiambiwe ni nani huyu, tuamue sisi wananchi wote wa Kenya. Tujue nani ambaye tunamchagua.
Kenyans should be given time to choose a candidate of their choice. That there should not be imposed a candidate, whoever, regardless the powers he have in this country.
Sisi tunataka yule mtu anaweza kuwa anatusaidia na mtu yule hana historia ya corruption, mtu ambaye hana historia ya kufinya watu, mtu ambaye ameshaongoza hii nchi, tumeshaangalia. Hata sisi history tunasoma. Ndio sababu sisi tunakataa, tunasema tupatiwe uhuru ya kuchagua yule mtu tunataka.
This as the race for Kiambu County senatorial position gains momentum after the entry of George Mara, former parliamentary aspirant for the Limuru constituency, with the number of aspirants seeking the Jubilee Party steadily rising.
I will represent you, the people of Kiambu, and I will shun empty and divisive politics and ensure that all those promises that I make are fulfilled and delivered to our people.
Tumesikia mambo mengi sana, tumesikia wengine wameandika barua ya page 8 wakitaka kurudi kwa Jubilee kwa sababu wameona ile kitu walikuwa wanatafuta kule hakuna.
Meanwhile, former Devolution Chief Administrative Secretary Gideon Mungaro and Malindi Member of Parliament Aisha Jumwa, who are both eyeing the Kilifi gubernatorial position in the August poll, have faulted the current Kilifi County administration for allegedly doing too little to improve the county's economy and health services.
Kwa miaka 10, county ya Kilifi haijaweza kusema imesomesha watoto wangapi mpaka form 4 na watoto wangapi wamemaliza chuo kikuu. Kwa sababu watoto wanapewa 2,200, 3,300. Tutaweka mikakati maalum, tutakuwa na mradi wa elimu.
Mambo ya food security, mimi nataka niwahakikishie ya kwamba hii Kilifi inasoma katika rahamani zote kwa masuala ya njaa na masuala ya ukame, na hilo mimi nataka nilipigie mbizi nitakapopata nafasi kama gavana.
Elsewhere, former Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission boss Halake Wako, who is seeking to succeed Isiolo Governor Mohamed Kuti, has called upon the residents to make their own informed political choices without entertaining any interference from the Burana Council of Elders.
Lazima tudumishe amani, tudumishe uwiano, tudumishe utangamano. Na mfano wa utangamano mema ni ya watu wa Garbatula.
For Lunchtime News, I'm Gladys Mungai.
And moving on, the national government has been urged to put in place policies that will address food insecurity, water shortage and insecurity in Samburu County. Speaking during a public participation forum, residents gave their input to be incorporated in the 4th medium-term plan that will run for the next 4 years.
Maralal Town, Samburu Central Sub-County. Here, stakeholders including groups of youth, women, representatives of NGOs, civil society groups, county government staff and PWDs converged to give their views on development of the 4th medium-term plan.
We are already anchoring our plans to Vision 2030
And today we are drawing up our concept paper, the milestones that we've made as a county and national government, so that we can be able to do a futuristic plan, so that we are able to know where we are and where we are going to.
PS in charge of planning Torome Saitoti, who led the public participation exercise, said that the views being collected from Kenyans in all the 47 counties will be included in the development geared towards implementing Vision 2030.
We shall prepare what we call the report on the county consultative forums in all the 47 counties, and then they will be incorporated in the MTP 4, which should start the implementation in the next financial year 2023. That's the time we shall start implementing it until 2027.
Residents of Samburu County who attended the forum say they wanted a lasting solution to the perennial problems of water, food shortage and insecurity.
Hata wale investors ambao wangekuja kuinvest katika kaunti hii hawangeweza kuja kwa sababu ya insecurity. Kwa hivyo sio serikali inalaumu, tunajilaumu sisi wenyewe, kwa sababu security ama amani irudi, hakuna mwingine atabisha amani bila sisi wenyewe wa Samburu na neighbors wetu.
Kwa hii MTP ambayo inayokuja Samburu County, sisi hatuna special school for persons with disability, na pia hatuna medical appliances workshop, ambapo Wasamburu huwa tunapotaka kupeleka watoto shule special school tuna travel to other counties. Kwa hiyo tungeomba sana ikuwe priority.
They however acknowledge that the region had greatly benefited from the third medium-term plan that is coming to an end this year. Ruth Wamboi for Lunchtime News.
All right, we now want to take you to a press briefing that is going on, and we will be listening in, and the press briefing is of course on the cost of fertilizer.
And 130,000 acres, that is 1.13 million acres. To ensure efficient delivery and control mechanisms are in place, the fertilizers will be available at NCPB stores countrywide, effective tomorrow morning. NCPB will sell the fertilizers at agreed subsidized prices to stabilize the prices of critical fertilizers to the Kenyan farmer. And the proposed prices are as follows. Fertilizer type and the price, I'll read the list. For DAP, we will retail at 2,800. CAN, 1,950. Urea, 2,700. NPK, 3,000. MOP 2,500 and sulfate of ammonia, which is usually called SA, 2,500. Thank you very much. That is the statement, unless you have questions. So basically we have instructed NCPB to start.
All right, and of course that's a press briefing going on there at Kilimo House, and that's the CS for Agriculture, Peter Munyi, speaking on the cost of fertilizer. That's the story that we'll bring to you comprehensively in our bulletins. But for now, pupils from Shadell Montessori Center in Kileleshwa, Nairobi, have left their audience at Age after they performed an emotional song on peace building that called on Kenyans to embrace peace and leverage cohesion to unite Kenyans during this election period. During the performance, Ariela Jebichi of Shadell Montessori broke into tears while reciting her song with a heavy message, Nawasihi Tupendane Kama wa Kenya. The emotional message was echoed by Shadell Managing Director Stella Mutua, lamenting that kids are peace-loving and must be protected from violence and hatred. The message was delivered during the school's cultural ceremony, where young kids showcase their cultural talents.
Love, peace, and togetherness. Let's show them that.
Right, on to the business of the day now. And Thiba Dam Water Project will inject 16 billion shillings to the economy when operational. Acting Water and Irrigation Cabinet Secretary James Macharia says the project that will put 10,000 acres under irrigation and avail clean water for 100,000 residents is complete and awaiting to be commissioned.
Speaking in Gishugu, Acting Water and Irrigation Cabinet Secretary James Macharia said final touches are being done on Thiba Dam Water Project ahead of its commissioning. The project that was initiated 49 months ago will support agriculture by putting more land under irrigation, as well as offer clean water for domestic use by over 100,000 people residing in its proximity.
The impact will be huge, like I said, in terms of food security in the country, because by it being completed, in terms of rice production, it will go up from about 114 million metric tons to 200 million.
In Kiambu, residents of Gatundu North and Thika have been assured of enough water supplies once the 24 billion shillings Kariminu 2 dam is completed in about 2 months. Macharia made the assurance when they toured the facility in Gatundu North as part of a day-long itinerary to inspect 6 flagship projects in Kiambu, Murang'a and Kirinyaga counties.
We've made sure that even as water is going to Nairobi, we also catered for the local community, because out of the 140 million liters, 10 million will be given to the people of Gatanga, which is in Murang'a. We are happy that it's 97% complete overall.
Meanwhile, those living in Nairobi metropolitan area may soon start receiving more water supply once a water collector tunnel project is completed. Macharia says construction of the tunnel and water treatment plant at Kigoro in Murang'a County is complete, but the remaining part is finalizing installation of pipes on the 34.5 kilometer stretch.
The water supply, the demand we have is about 810 million liters every day. Now, if you look at what we have right now, is about, I think, about 560 or thereabouts. So the deficit, thereabouts 250, 260 million liters. So you can see if you complete this project, 140, you've cut by half the demand we have, especially for Nairobi. I'm talking about Nairobi, because Nairobi is the one which got a big problem.
The 8.2 billion shillings project is expected to increase water volumes at Ndakaini Dam. Reporting for Lunchtime News, I am Teresa Mutai.
On the international scene, Russian President Vladimir Putin has signed a decree demanding foreign buyers to pay in rubles for Russia gas from April the 1st. The Russian president has threatened to halt all gas and oil supplies to Europe if these payments were not made using the Russian currency. The latest announcement by Kremlin has caused confusion and fears in Europe, which relies heavily on Moscow for its gas and oil supplies.
Russia supplies about a third of Europe's gas, so energy is one of the most powerful levers at Putin's disposal as he tries to hit back against sweeping Western sanctions over his invasion of Ukraine. His decision to enforce ruble payments has boosted the Russian currency, which is facing pressure from the sanctions imposed by Europe and the United States. The Russian president has said in order to purchase Russian natural gas, countries must open ruble accounts in Russian banks. It is from these accounts that payments will be made for gas delivered starting from tomorrow. An order signed by Putin set out a mechanism for buyers to transfer foreign currency to a special account at a Russian bank, which would then send rubles back to the foreign buyer to make payment for the gas. He said the switch was meant to strengthen Russia's sovereignty, and it would stick to its obligations on all contracts. Elsewhere, Sri Lankan police imposed a curfew and fired tear gas at demonstrators protesting dire food, fuel and power shortages outside the president's house. Agitated protesters stormed through barricades and were accused of setting fire to a bus on Thursday night. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa blamed the events on extremist elements. Sri Lanka is now in the midst of a foreign exchange crisis that has crippled its economy. Faced with 13-hour power cuts, a lack of fuel, essential food items and medicines, public anger has reached a new high. The protests outside the president's house began peacefully, but participants say things turned violent after police fired tear gas and water cannons and also beat the people present. The demonstrations mark a massive turnaround in popularity for Mr. Rajapaksa, who swept into power with a majority win in 2019, promising stability and a strong hand to rule the country. Critics have been pointing to rank corruption and nepotism, his brothers and nephews occupying several key ministerial portfolios, as one of the main reasons for the situation the country has found itself in. Finally, the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC Plus, has announced on Thursday that it would stick to existing plans for modest oil production increases in May despite surging crude prices. The Oil Alliance reconfirmed the decision to adjust upward the monthly overall production by 432,000 barrels per day for the month of May 2022, according to a statement released after the 27th OPEC and non-OPEC ministerial meeting. So far, OPEC Plus has added 400,000 barrels per day at the start of each month, according to its schedule of gradual output increases agreed in July 2021 to offset production cuts made at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. Major oil-consuming nations including the United States, Britain and Germany have recently called on the OPEC Plus countries to further boost their production targets to rein in soaring prices.
Sayamra. All right, on to the day's sport. We apologize for that technical hitch. We will take that story one more time. The national boxing team Heat squad will leave the country this Sunday ahead of this year's Zone 3 Boxing Championship, set to be held from the 4th of April to the 10th in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The Kenyan pugilis are undergoing rigorous training at the Mathare Police Depot ahead of the regional assignment.
The Kenyan team, comprising of 22 pugilists, will leave the country on Sunday ahead of the Zone 3 Boxing Championship. Hit Squad is currently training at the Mathare Police Depot under the tutelage of head coach Musa Benjamin and assistant coach Dave Munuke. Kenyan pugilists are targeting to replicate the same performance that saw them bag 1 gold, 5 silver and 5 bronze at the regional showpiece last year. Veteran Nico Koth, Elia Joey and Christine Ongare will lead Kenya's medal hunt at the championship.
Kucheza game nifungulie wale watu vile naanzaga kama komanda na kweli tunaweza. Unajua lazima pia ujiweke juu kwanza. Mimi tayari mimi na moral yangu kwa juu, sina wasiwasi.
This is just a build up for the upcoming major tournaments. We have the Women World Championship which will be held in Turkey like in May. So it's for us ladies, it's also like a build-up match. So we'll gauge ourselves with that as we work towards going through to the World Championship.
Stephen Olang